Hi, this is Sean from Time and Talk. Today I thought I'd make a quick video about SIHH. Obviously the biggest news coming out of SIHH is the new collection from Audemars Piguet. It's the Audemars Piguet Code 1159, and a bit of a strange name. Apparently the code is an acronym which stands for various things. I can't remember off the top of my head what those things are. But it's the biggest collection that they've released since 1972, and there's been a lot of kind of talk about it online, so I thought I'd have a quick discussion, what my views are and things like that. First of all, suffice to say, well, it's needless to say that I'm in no position to afford an AP, so my opinion means absolutely nothing to them, and you know they're not aimed at me, APs, but I just thought, you know, it's the most interesting thing that's come up in the watch world for a while, so I thought I'd discuss it a little bit. So it's the biggest collection since 1972, obviously when the Royal Oak was released, and I never really thought about it before, but obviously with AP being a one collection brand, that's bad for multiple purchases. And I was reading an article yesterday about that. I never really thought about it, but you know, if you've got a Royal Oak offshore, you've kind of done the brand, so they need new stuff. So they released this new collection, the Code 1159. So there's 13 new pieces in this collection with 6 movements across the whole of it. 3 of those movements are new. They're all 41mm in the same size case, and they all come in either white gold or rose gold. In terms of the complications, there's a time only one, there's a chrono, there's a tourbillon, there's a perpetual calendar, and there's a minute repeater. Various dial combinations, and I'll put a few up on the screen as I go through this video. The least expensive, if you can call it that, is 20,000 pounds, around about that, and most of the prices are in Swiss francs, so I'm not Swiss, so I don't really understand them, but I did a quick Google and worked it out. The most expensive is 295,000 Swiss francs or something like that, which is the equivalent of about 240,000 pounds. There are various style combinations across the different collections, but in general they have a kind of modern look, kind of modern minimalism, I guess. Relatively simple. Well, obviously, particularly I'm talking about the time only version, have a date, and the time only version comes in black and white, I think, from what I've seen. The reason I decided to make a video about this is really because of the reaction to them. The reaction has been, well, from what I've gathered on things like Instagram, online, has been a little bit negative, with people unfavorably comparing them to Daniel Wellington or the fashion watches, things like that. Some people are obviously going to like them, and some people, you know, will like them, but the reaction from the watch world has tended to be unfavorable. So what do I think? In terms of the watches in the Code collection, they're not my cup of tea, if I'm honest. In terms of the aesthetic of it, it's a little bit modern for my taste. The size, the thickness, the overall aesthetic, less kind of mid-century and a bit more kind of modern in its styling. One thing I would say though is that I did a quick piece of market research in the office today, asked around some colleagues and said, you know, do you like this new watch? And they all said yes. And then I said, how do you like this watch? And it was a Royal Oak Jumbo, and they said they disliked the Royal Oak and they would prefer the other watch to this. So, you know, I think the key is with these watch releases, they need to appeal to people who don't like watches, who don't know about the history, who go into the aesthetics more and kind of and not so into. I mean, the Royal Oak is a bit of a love it or hate it watch. It's a bit of an acquired taste, but In terms of the new watches, I personally don't like them. I can see why people would. They look gorgeous in terms of the movement design and in terms of the finishing. But I think in terms of the modernity of the cases, that they're not kind of modern in a futuristic sense, in the sense of the Royal Oak, but they're just modern in the sense of they don't have that kind of mid-century appeal of some of the more haute horology brands like Patek Philippe and the other Vacherons and the Langes and things like that. They just look a bit bland, really, but I can't see them failing to do well, particularly with the no publicity is bad publicity type thing. So yeah, that's just a bit of a video, a bit of a discussion, bit of a ramble about the new AP collection. Tell me what you think. What do you think of the new collection? Do you like it? Do you think it does look like a Daniel Wellington? Do you think people are being a little bit unfair about it? Okay, if you like my channel, please subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye bye.